What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another edition of the Afterthought. This is my thoughts now that we're down to the final four and it's getting down to the wire. We now have determined basically our four teams that's going to represent the NFC and AFC Championships right now, getting into the Super Bowl. And I myself personally, are just like I said, been impressed with the competition. Atlanta has shown everybody that they're ready to compete. Matt Ryan, like I said, that was a game that he needed. He needed to beat Seattle to prove himself and just how good he can be. And what's interesting about Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers matchup is that this is like the second time these two have met in a game this big. I think if you remember around the 2011-2010 season, Aaron Rodgers had to get through Matt Ryan just to get to the Super Bowl. Okay, so this is a very good matchup. For Matt Ryan's case, he's given a second opportunity to get his team to a Super Bowl. If the Atlanta Falcons could pull off the win against Green Bay, they could beat them at the Georgia Dome. It will be Atlanta Falcons' second Super Bowl appearance that they must need to win to remain relevant as a franchise. This is going to prove just how good of a franchise the Atlanta Falcons can be. And then for the Green Bay Packers, there's no denying them at all. There's no denying Aaron Rodgers. He is perhaps the most clutch quarterback in the league today. The way he was able to pull off that win against Dallas shows you just how real he is, and that was without Jordy Nelson. But because he's a gunslinging quarterback, he has an arm, he trusts his receivers. He knows that somebody's going to get open. He's patient. The man won that game. And, I got to give a lot of shouts out to my Cowboys. Even though they didn't pull off that win, they still showed a lot of heart. They played their tails off in that game. They gave an effort. Shouts out to Dak Prescott because this is showing you that they definitely have a future in this league. There's no denying the Cowboys. They're going to be around for the next 5-6 years. If they keep that same core together, they'll be strong. But this Green Bay Packer team, they're simply, the better NFC team by far. Yeah, they had it rough this season. They started off rough, but they was able to get back going. And Aaron Rodgers is clearly a bad man. And not to forget to mention, you can't forget about Clay Matthews in that defense. The way that they was able to maintain their posture, they didn't get their game thrown off. They didn't let the fact that Dallas came back affect them. They still balled out. So you got to give them a lot of credit. But this Atlanta Falcon Green Bay game, this is going to be a tough one. I'm not going to lie. This could go down to anybody else, but this is going to be very close. This is definitely going to be a battle because every time Atlanta and Green Bay get together, it's always a great matchup. It's a good game. So you're going to expect a lot of scoring downfield. Both quarterbacks are going to be shooting it out. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't see it's not going to be a blowout, but it could go down to another field goal like it did the Dallas game. If you think Dallas versus Green Bay was good, wait till you see this game. And you're going to see Matt Ryan and this Falcon team perform at an even higher level now. Because now they give it another chance to have home field advantage. Because now Green Bay has to travel to the Georgia Dome. And like I said, it was tough for Seattle. That crowd was not on their side at all. And for the Seattle Seahawks, yeah, they're disrespected. I thought that they was going to pull it through. I know that Pete Carroll has a great coaching system over there, but Atlanta was just too much for them. They just overwhelmed him. And furthermore, Matt Ryan took advantage of the fact that Earl Thomas wasn't there guarding that one side of the field. Okay, that was a weakness in the Seattle secondary that Matt Ryan took advantage. He's not going to be able to take advantage of Green Bay the same way. But for Green Bay, they can't let off a lead neither. If they have Atlanta down by 14 points, they need to keep the lead going. If they allow Atlanta to come back in the game and tie it up with them, it might not go down the same way it did against Dallas because Atlanta has a sharper offense, and I see that now. And Devontae Freeman is definitely another underrated running back. He's playing better than what we all expected to. He always goes on the radar because don't too many people be paying attention to him, but he's a quality back. Matt Ryan has something right there. And that's the one advantage they're going to have over Green Bay because the Packers don't really have a quality running game. The running backs, James Starks is hurt. You don't see Eddie Lacy no more. So that's the only problem that the Green Bay Packers are going to have against this Atlanta Falcon defense, that they're not going to be able to run on them. So Aaron Rodgers has to continue to go to the air. So we'll see if Jordy Nelson can come back. That might help a little, but Atlanta's going to bring it. I can see it now. They're not going to be going down without a fight. Definitely because this is Matt Ryan's second chance, and this may be his only opportunity for Matt Ryan to basically seize his moment and show everybody that he is a championship quarterback. So in this game, to be honest with you, I'm gonna have to go with Green Bay. Just because, like I said, they continue to show me that they can win championships. They can win a game. Even when the chips are down. When Aaron Rodgers is missing 2 or 3 pieces here, he finds a way to win. And that's the advantage that he has over Matt Ryan. Now, Atlanta might can win this game. Like I said, it could go down either way. And I was obviously wrong about my Cowboys beating the Packers, because Packers showed us that, like I said, they're clutch. Aaron Rodgers comes through. Mike McCarthy has a good offense. He has a good defense. He knows how to coach his teams. So, like I said, Atlanta might can pull it off. But for Atlanta, like I said, they have to control the pace. They're going to have to put pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And see, the Cowboys didn't really do too good of a job with that because they don't like to blitz a lot. Rob Marinelli is very conservative in his defense. He didn't want to blitz Aaron Rodgers for the simple fact he needed to try to cover those receivers. Because Green Bay has some dangerous receivers. If you don't cover them correctly, they're gonna hurt you. And Aaron Rodgers has proven that time and time again. But for Matt Ryan right now, this Falcon team, if he could beat Seattle, he has a chance to beat Green Bay right now. So yeah, this is a definitely good matchup. But I gotta give the edge to Green Bay right now. I see them pulling it out. Only because of the experience, the type of team this Mike McCarthy has. Okay, Green Bay does not go down that easily. You have to finish them off. If you can't finish that team off, they're gonna find a way to beat you. And that's the one challenge Atlanta's gonna have to do. Now, moving on to the AFC side. This is a matchup that I'm pretty sure the whole world was waiting on right now. This is basically Godzilla versus King Kong. If anybody that's been watching football over the past 15, 20 years, then you understand that in the AFC side of things, you got to get past either New England or Pittsburgh to get to an AFC Championship and win. To get to Super Bowl counts on these 2 teams right here. And for the simple fact you got Ben Roethlisberger versus Brady rematch, this is basically a good one right now. This is a storybook, basically a textbook matchup. Because the window's closing on both of those guys. Okay, Ben Roethlisberger and Tom Brady are not going to be around the league for too much longer. I think Brady will be done with New England as soon as his contract up. And even Ben Roethlisberger, his clock is ticking basically right now. Father Time's catching up with him. Not only through injuries right now, but just a contract. Because the Steelers are not going to be keeping Ben Roethlisberger around for too much longer, especially if he can't get the team to another Super Bowl. If he can't get them to another championship, they're not going to be able to keep him around for too much longer because he's only aging. There's a lot of wear and tear on his body. Ben Roethlisberger has to go through injuries this season, but because of how good his team is and because he trusts his offensive line and he trusts Le'Veon Bell and he trusts Antonio Brown and he puts his faith into the defense and what Mike Tomlin can do, the Steelers were able to pull this off and come through. Yeah, Kansas City was tough, no doubt. Kansas City was a penalty away from actually tying the game and actually beating Pittsburgh. They almost put it through, but like I said, you cannot get penalties. Penalties will cost you every time. Still, Kansas City fought hard, but the Steelers conquered. They're just a better team. And just as I predicted, these 2 teams are playing each other, so this is going to definitely be a very, very good battle. And I don't see the Steelers even coming. I don't see New England, coming, pulling away from Pittsburgh, and I don't see Pittsburgh literally blowing out New England. It's going to be a close game, and it might be a low-scoring game, so it's going to come down to the defense. Now, the Steelers' defense has proved good so far. They made it this far, but they cannot give up now. They're up against Tom Brady, so this is definitely going to be a fight. They have a challenge on their hands right now. And this is going to prove that can Mike Tomlin knock off the Patriots? Can Mike Tomlin get his team back to the Super Bowl and win the respect of Terry Bradshaw, which he's already proven already? I don't know why Terry Bradshaw had the nerve to call out Mike Tomlin and question Mike Tomlin's coaching, but Mike Tomlin, to me, like I said, this man is a good poised coach. The man knows how to contend. He's kept the Steeler team in the playoffs all this time. He's came up with good rosters. He's made the adjustments necessary to keep his team contending, and you see that now. The Steelers are a product of Mike Tomlin's abilities on and off the field. The man is a is a disciplinary coach. He's a no-nonsense coach at all. You can't come on the Steelers team and do what you want to do with Mike Tomlin's system. So if you're going to come to the Steelers, you got to be humble, but you got to be ready to win. And for Bill Belichick right now, okay, the Patriots know that Tom Brady has to prove themselves. The Patriots have to prove to the world that they're not cheaters. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I know everybody doesn't like the New England Patriots, but you can't deny skill. You can't deny the fact that this team has 4 championships. They have 4 Super Bowls for a reason. You cannot take away from Tom Brady. Tom Brady is trying to be known as the only quarterback right now that could get to the Super Bowl and win 5 rings. He's going to set a record that no other quarterback has done before in this league. He wants to, before he retires, basically pass up Terry Bradshaw and pass up Joe Montana for 5 championships, 5 Super Bowl rings, and that's what Tom Brady is trying to do at this point. Like I said, Brady is 39 years old. He's going to be 40 basically within next year. He'll retire when he's 41. So Tom Brady is not going to waste any more time. He knows he may not never get an opportunity like this again. So this is going to be a very good matchup right here. This is going to be a battle, but I got to give it to New England only because New England is just, like I said, they're better. They got a lot of, they're more healthier right now. New England is a little bit more sharper on defensively. They haven't really shown too much mistakes. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, is flawed big time, especially in their secondary. And that's what's going to hold Pittsburgh Steelers back in this New England game because the Patriots have the type of team where they'll expose your weaknesses immediately. If you're flawed some kind of way, they're going to expose that due to Tom Brady sticking in the offense. With Chris Hogan, Julian Edelman, Martellus Bennett, LeGarrette Blount, they have a rounded team. Now, the Steelers offensively have what it takes to keep up with New England. Okay, so that's the one thing the Patriots defense is going to have to do. They're going to have to lock out Le'Veon Bell. Somebody's going to have to put hands and guard him. If you don't guard Le'Veon Bell, they allow Le'Veon Bell to get out to at least 150 yards. The Patriots are going to have a long game ahead of them coming up this weekend. Because Steelers' running attack is by far the best. Le'Veon Bell is the best running back in this league next to Ezekiel Elliott. And he might, like I say, he could possibly become MVP, even though they're going to probably give that to Matt Ryan. Tom Brady's not going to be the MVP just because of the Deflategate, but still, the Steelers definitely have a squad. Okay, they have a team that can beat this New England Patriots team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do pull it off. Just because, like I said, it's just the organization alone by itself, they're all about winning championships. Both Steelers and the Patriots are all about winning titles. These two teams have the most championships in the past 30 years than most other AFC teams. To keep it real with you, y'all can look on their records now. The only difference between Pittsburgh has over New England right now, the only advantage is that they have 6 Super Bowls. But New England is trying to tie that as we speak. And if New England can beat Pittsburgh, go to the Super Bowl and win, it'll be their 5th Super Bowl. They will tie it with San Francisco and Dallas. And then Brady will have another year in his contract, and it'll be his last year, and they'll try to win one more and have him retire like Peyton Manning went out. So this is how serious the Patriots is right now. But for the Steelers, they have a lot to gain as well. They need this, especially with Mike Tomlin, knowing that Ben Roethlisberger and some of his players, like James Harrison, is not going to be around forever. Because even speaking of Harrison right now, he might retire too. To keep it real, most of the Pittsburgh Steelers veterans they have now that's in their age 35 and 36, 37 years old, these guys will retire if they get to the Super Bowl and win. Or they might retire now. So that's the thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They know they're going to have to start over eventually. Maybe next season, Mike Tomlin's going to have to start off from scratch and rebuild that Steeler team. But this time it'll be around Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. They just have to find another quarterback. And they know you're not going to find another quarterback to replace Ben Roethlisberger at this point. Roethlisberger is a Hall of Fame QB, just like Tom Brady is to the Patriots. So when you have him, you need to take advantage and use him as much as possible. Even though Roethlisberger has a lot of mileage in the system, he can still play. The man can still win games. He has that heart. He has the ability. He has the fighting spirit. I got to go with the Patriots just only because of how bad they need it. Okay, you know, I know Tom Brady feels that he was did wrong, and now he's going to try to prove to the world that he really is legitimately the best in this league. Even though I got to give the Steelers a whole lot of respect. They made it this far, but I got to go with New England. And like I said, it brings me to the Super Bowl prediction, which will be coming soon. Out of these 4 teams, I got to go with Green Bay, New England. That might be another matchup of 1997. Just because of how good Aaron Rodgers is and how good Tom Brady are as getting their teams up and coming up with good thinking. Atlanta, their only problem is the reason why I don't trust them, like I said, just experience right now. Matt Ryan, like he did against the San Francisco 49ers in the 2012-2013 season, he choked. The man could have been scoring the red zone against that defense. You had him down 21-0. Okay, that might go and hunt Matt Ryan, especially when a lot of pressure's on him in these games. That's Matt Ryan's problem right now. Yeah, he defeated the Seattle Seahawks, but now you're up against a Green Bay Packer team that just pulled out the upset against Dallas. Let's say upset, that was a great game, but the simple fact that they was able to maintain the lead and Dallas couldn't, come ahead of them, That will tell you a lot right there. And then a lot of pressure is going to be on Matt Ryan, especially in that Georgia Dome. Matt Ryan cannot choke like he did like 5, 6 years ago. And Matt Ryan chokes again, he might not never get an opportunity like that again. And that's the only problem with the Atlanta Falcons right now. The pressure is going to get to him. And then the simple fact, you got a very young Atlanta Falcons team. Everybody but Julio Jones has not been there before at all. They have not played in the stage. And that's the advantage that Green Bay is going to have with Atlanta. The simple fact, most of those guys, or half of them, have already been to the NFC Championship before. Like Aaron Rodgers, they went to the Super Bowl and they won. So they know what it takes to win. So the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to have to shock everybody and they're going to have to surprise you. They have no choice but to bring it to the Packer team and keep Aaron Rodgers down. And for the Steelers, they're going to put the fight to New England. They got to continue that rivalry like they've been having. Because everybody that's been watching the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots, both teams, in order to get to the Super Bowl, they have to beat one or the other. The Steelers have had to get past New England the last 2 times they've been to a Super Bowl, and so has the Patriots back in the early 2000s. So, like I said, this is great football in the making, but I'm going Green Bay and Patriots in Super Bowl 51. That's what it's going to be. And I know a lot of shouts out to the ones who actually predicted this on my other videos, because they was right on the money right there. You know what I'm saying? Green Bay is, like I said, without a shadow of a doubt, like I said, they're the best right now as far as the NFC is concerned. Okay, they know how to win games, and New England, they've shown you time and time again why they're the best AFC team. But that's my prediction. I got New England and Green Bay coming out of this. Unless otherwise, it could go either way. It could go Atlanta, Pittsburgh, possibly. Or it could even go Pittsburgh versus Green Bay. And we'll see another rematch of 2011, which I'm pretty sure Roethlisberger is going to want to get his revenge. The Steelers actually need that more from the Packers than they do against the Falcons. Because the thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers Falcons, if they do go, it'll be a matchup we ain't seen the first time. Matter of fact, we never seen the Packers versus the Atlanta Falcons. We're seeing this for the first time. Or we could possibly see the Patriots versus Atlanta, which will be a first. Which might have should have happened in 2003. The only problem was with Atlanta when they had Michael Vick, it just they was going against the Eagle team with Don Now, which prevented Vick from going. And then the Eagles just had a better defense than the Falcons. But the Vick almost had his chance of playing the Patriots, but that never did happen. So this is the afterthought. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like, comment on it, what you think. And like I said, this has been a great season, but this is my Super Bowl prediction for now. My Cowboys are going to do it. They'll be back again next year. We'll see. Anyways, y'all have a good day. Take care, and I'll see you soon.